The European Union has unveiled a new measure against Russia. Guess who it targets? Not Vladimir Putin, not his oligarchs, not even his gas companies or banks. The new measure targets ordinary Russian citizens. Let me explain. In 2007, Russia signed a visa agreement with Europe. The idea was to make travel easier. Russians could get visas from EU member states much faster. But on Wednesday, that agreement was scrapped.
First, full suspension of the European Union Russia visa facilitation agreement. Full suspension. Until now, it was partially suspended for special collectives, groups of people, officials and entrepreneurs, and now it's fully suspended. So the visas will be more difficult to get. But it will still be possible to get visas, but in a much reduced number. This with respect to the new visas.
Let me tell you what this means. Russians will now have to wait longer. They'll have to pay more and jump through more bureaucratic hoops for a visa. What about the existing ones? Around 12 million visas have already been issued to Russian citizens. Those visas will not be affected, but new ones will be extremely tough to get. Now, this policy was a half measure because, like always, the European Union was divided on what to do. Ukraine was asking it to completely ban Russian visitors, sort of like a travel ban. This demand was backed by members bordering Russia, like Finland, Estonia and Latvia, but others, like France and Germany, opposed it. So in the end, Europe decided on a half measure. Travel will not be banned, it will be made harder. How has Russia responded to this? The Kremlin called the decision ridiculous. It is also preparing a similar response against European citizens. So much for keeping the people out of this war. The fact is, such a move sets the wrong precedent, especially in Russia. Vladimir Putin is spinning the narrative on Western sanctions. He's painting Russia as the victim, and this move plays right into Putin's hands. Just think about it. European leaders keep saying that this is Putin's war, that Russian people do not support him. Well, if that's the case, why target Russian citizens? Many Russians have families in Europe, some have children studying there, or maybe business operations. How does stopping them end the war in Ukraine? The answer is it doesn't. It only reinforces the propaganda being pushed by Putin and his team that the West is out to harm Russian citizens. Also, what happens to political refugees? Many activists and students are opposed to Russia's war. They often flee to Europe to escape persecution. What happens to those dissidents? Will they also wait for months and pay more to get a visa? You see, sanctions are supposed to weaken the state, not the people. So targeting the oligarchs was fine. They were directly linked to Vladimir Putin. Targeting the gas companies was also fine because they were funding the war. But targeting the citizens is not fine. It doesn't weaken the state, it only weakens the people. Some EU members have gone beyond the joint proposal. They're issuing outright bans. Estonia has already done this. Finland, Latvia and Lithuania are planning to do the same. Makes you wonder, what is Europe thinking? Are they trying to pressure Putin via his people? And if so, good luck to them. Russia is not some vibrant democracy where public pressure will hurt Putin. He's ignored protests before and he'll do it again. So the current policy appears more emotional than rational. It also exposes the thought process of world leaders. International law seeks to protect civilians during war, but these leaders just don't seem to care. Putin is choking Europe's gas supply to hurt its people. He's using civilians as pawns in the larger war, and so is Europe. The ban on Russia's national carrier, and now this visa regime being tightened, all of it indicates a ruthless targeting of civilians. They're not paying with their lives, sure, but they are paying with their livelihoods. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.